Welcome back to Calgary. The Hawks come in here having taken only one of the last 6 possible points overall. But as we mentioned, if they don't have a good road trip, there's every possibility they could come back home at the end of this trip out of a home ice position in the opening round of the playoffs. But a lot to be determined before we can get to that point. Let's take a look at the Ford goaltending matchup. And an interesting matchup because both the guys tonight ought to be excited about playing the opposing team. There's a 24-year-old Finn, Antti Raanta, whose first start and victory came right here in this rink on November the 27th. That was his first ever NHL start and win. He had 20 saves in that victory in late November. And at the other end, 27-year-old Swiss goaltender, Swiss Olympian, Reto Berra, who got his first ever NHL start against the Blackhawks. He got a win in overtime in the UC, made 42 saves in that one, and we're underway tonight. Now the puck dumped into the Hog zone, chased down by Hossa. He cleared it to center ice. Sharp trying to tap it away from Brody. He chases into the corner, tapped it in behind for Taves. Had the puck jump loose. Sharp looks to center. It's picked off by Stajan.
And this first period of Blackhawks hockey is brought to you by Chevy and ChevyDriveChicago.com.
Giordano right in goal post. Seabrook tried to block it. He missed it, and it hit the near post and stayed out. Here's Sharp to the other end shooting. That's blocked. And cleared up the boards where the puck chopped out to center ice. Hjalmarsson will take a look from there as both teams try to change on the go. A good pass finds Kruger, gets in, couldn't pull the trigger. Kruger takes a look, put it across O'Doyle, had the pass at his skates, and as a result, not much happened. The puck cleared back to center ice.
What's one thing you got to watch out for in this game tonight is the defense getting involved, both for Calgary and the Chicago Blackhawks. That last time was Hjalmarsson jumping up.
Pass in front, they score! A good rush found Backlund, and he's, as he fought off a check, able to stuff home a backhander right through the 5-hole, and just over a minute in, the Flames are in front.
It was a center lane drive that Niklas Hjalmarsson was not able to deny. Actually lifts the stick of Backlund, but it comes right back to him. Watch as he gets in, lifts his stick. It goes a little farther in his backhand. He makes contact with it, puts it by Antti Raanta, who saw the first shot go off the post. That one between the legs. The Calgary Flames get that all-important first goal.
73 seconds in, Calgary in front. And that after they hit a goal post on their first opportunity. Now it's dumped back into the Hawk zone. Here's Roosevelt. And Kane able to get control, clear it ahead for Stieg. Moved it ahead, the pass was behind Peary. And he battles for it in behind the Calgary net. The Flames get control, and they're able to clear it to center. Now Butler looks ahead. That pass hit the skate of Monahan and now taken by Russell. Hawks changing quickly. The Flames forwards do also. Russell waiting for all that to happen. Russell's long pass deflecting. Westgarth couldn't reach it. Back come the Hawks. Saad gains the line. Brandon Saad shot it from a tough angle, hoping for a tip he didn't get. And the stick came up and clipped to Andrew Shaw right near the front of the net, but he plays on. And Bickle turns in his own end.
Well, the Blackhawks had two forwards going hard to the front of the net, Brian Bickle and Andrew Shaw. And as you mentioned, Pat, it was Shaw who took the high stick. Well, in our Hyundai, what to look for tonight, a big game for a couple of new faces to the lineup. Brandon Peary obviously coming up from Rockford, and Brian Bickle, who was a healthy scratch last game, getting back in the lineup. Peary, of course, centering that all-important second line. And then secondly, the power play, got to jumpstart the offense. There's a lot of the big guns for the Blackhawks who have gone through some many scoring slumps here. And just one power play goal in their last 6 games. That's got to improve.
And the Hawks now changing them up. Didn't like the matchup, and they throw the Taves line quickly over the boards after clearing it. Here comes Backlund into the zone. He just scored a moment ago. Why not try again? And Raanta able to glove that. Take a look at the officiating crew. I guess you need to be holy person to referee tonight. Francois Saint Laurent paired up with Justin St. Pierre. The linesmen Darren Gibbs and Mark Schuchik. Well, talking about what Stevie just mentioned, the Hawks in their last 10 games are 3-3-4, but they have scored a third goal or better in only 4 of their last 10 games. This is the most severe offensive drought the Hawks have had all season long. Hossa goes down low for Taves. Trying to fend off a check, gets help from Sharp. Hossa's long flip shot is going to be blocked out in front, and Brody starts the Flames back. They might have a 3-on-2. Here's Brody gaining the line stage, and back to Brody. Good pass, and he couldn't hold it. That cost Brody a good scoring chance. That's a hand pass, glove forward, and Boma picked it up, so the whistle goes.
Well, are you or someone you know working with a program or institution that creates a positive impact for our community? Submit a nomination for the CME Group Community Spotlight Fan of the Game. Each Fan of the Game recipient will be awarded 2 Blackhawks tickets, an official Blackhawks replica jersey. Yeah, TJ Brody, good speed up the ice. We saw him glove that shot down in front of the net, a good block, and unfortunately just couldn't finish the play for him in front of the Blackhawks net.
Oduya dumps it in. Russell hacked it up the boards. Kane in the way. Russell followed up though and moved it out to center. Here comes Butler. His pass deflecting to Hjalmarsson. Now the Flames Backlund. Got checked by Versteeg. Hawks pass missing. Going to be icing Chicago here.
Good look at Chris Russell. Not a real big defenseman. He's only 5'10", 170 pounds, but he's got the heart of a lion. And of course, Blackhawk fans remember him from the Central Division. Played a lot with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Then last year with the St. Louis Blues. Calgary picked him up for a 5th-round draft pick.
Now a couple of youngsters. Sean Monahan, who had a great start to the season, now has really slowed down. Paired up against Peary for that draw. And the Hawks again chasing a matchup. Are going to try to change on the go. Hjalmarsson has to get back. Monahan with him. It's cleared up the board. Schmid kept it in. Touch pass in front, missing Galliardi. And Shaw moved it out. With the Monahan line out there for Bob Hartley. Quenneville wanted the Shaw grouping against them. And here comes a pass that missed Saad. And then Saad back on the right wing, opening the game tonight with Shaw in the middle and Bickle on the left. Flames send it in. Keith back. Bickle is rink wide deflecting. And here's Bickle chasing in deep, trying to shoot it from a tough angle. He had no help. The Hawks were changing. We just had to try to bank it in off the goalie. It didn't work out. Taves had it knocked off his blade. Now Seabrook will take a look. Flames trying to change. Seabrook to the line with a long blast. That's blocked to Sharp. And by the way, that's going to happen. You would think a lot tonight. Shots not getting through. The Flames have 3 of the top 10 shot block artists in the entire league in their lineup tonight.
Yeah, they really are willing to pay the price. Actually, a sign of a pretty hard-working team. But yeah, they'll sacrifice the body and they make sure no pucks are getting through.
Well, there's going to be icing Calgary, and to that point, the one thing you got to give the Calgary Flames, I mean, they work. You have to tip your hat to Bob Hartley and the culture change that's happened here, and if you don't match their work ethic, you're not going to beat them. I mean, the Hawks are a more skilled team. There's no question about that. But you had better be willing to match what's going to be a very workmanlike effort from the home team tonight.
You know, we watched the morning skate this morning, Pat. Not very often you see a team doing one-on-one drills, one-on-one battle drills, and that's what they're doing the morning of a game, and that's the culture he's brought.
Here's Kane. He scores. What a pass for Steeg. Somehow it found Kane's blade, and Patrick Kane able to snap it home. He had just 1 goal in the last 10, but an important tally here to draw his team even.
Boy, just the second shot on net, too. And, Pat, you picked up that great pass from Versteeg. Kane cradles it, puts it into his wheelhouse, and just absolutely lets it go. Watch down low. 23 will get it in behind the net. Gets to that loose puck. Actually went off a skate. And, you know, just great hands by Patrick Kane. It's not a one-timer, but he cradles it, lets it go, and he knew exactly where he wanted to put it. He saw Berra down. He's a big guy at 6'4", and there was about a 6-inch window up over that left shoulder of Berra's. He found it. Big goal for Patrick Kane.
All right, so the draw is dumped into the Flame zone. Weidman nearly turned it over, now gets another chance. And cleared it to center ice. Hudler's pass picked up. Backlund gets in. Put it in deep. Stempniak checked by Oduya. Now Shaw there to help. Cleared it right through the goal mouth, and Jones had to let that one go all the way through. Shot back the other way. Going to be no icing here. They rule that Weidman could have played it, so no whistle, and the Flames clear it out to center ice. Here's Backlund into the zone. It was stripped of it, and the Flames reorganize. They're changing, so Schmid needs to wait. And Roosevelt now is pressured by Colborne. Michael Roosevelt did well to get it to Bollig. He rolled it out of there. Chris Russell for the Flames had his pass come right back to him. Butler turned it over. Smith, good pass for Kruger. He gets in, looks for Bollig. He's going to shoot it, and a save, and a good one by Berra. Brandon Bollig has got a good wrist shot, and Berra had to be sharp off a quick 2-on-1 counterattack. 7 minutes into the game after the Flames had struck first. Patrick Kane, the equalizer, and we're tied.
And in our Geico quote from Sunday night, and this is from Captain Jonathan Toews, he said, "It's frustrating to have that lackluster effort against a team that had nothing to lose in the third period. I don't have an explanation without saying anything negative. We need to get rid of these bad habits and get rid of them fast." And obviously a game that Jonathan Toews and the Blackhawks really dominated for basically the first 40 minutes. And Winnipeg wins the third period, ends up winning the hockey game.
Seabrook's going to have to play this one. Keith had it jump away. Here's Jones for Calgary. It was knocked away from Stajan. Back it goes to Brody. No lane there. Put it. Giordano's going to shoot it. And it was deflected wide by Boma. And now the Hawks, Seabrook able to regain control. Bounce it to center. Taves gets the line. Taves going wide. Now circles the net. Tried to center, but hit the back of the goal with it. And the Flames start back. Westgarth put it into Chicago ice. McGrattan took a whack and didn't get through.
Yeah, it went off the ankle of Peary. He's in a bit of pain right now.
Yes, he is laboring out there. He stays on the ice as Keith, and of course the puck finds you when you're hurt. Peary has to just fire it off, and he's laboring badly. He can't put any weight on his right leg as he goes for a change. And this is icing Chicago. Now he should be able to get replaced because of an injury. But Brandon Peary, now you can see he's going to go off with Dr. Terry, who is with the Hawks on this trip, and he'll get some first-hand attention from the Hawks team physician. But in the Blackhawks' desperation to find somebody to play with Patrick Kane has been a season-long problem because the line of Taves, Hossa, and Sharp has continued to stay together. They've tried to have a couple different guys play with Kane. Not all that much has worked out very well, and Brandon Peary, not long after he was sent down to Rockford in early December, he got hurt and he was out for several weeks and really just got back into the Rockford lineup last week, and he played only 3 games, and now he's right back here in Chicago.
Yeah, he actually re-injured a lower body injury that he suffered during training camp of this past fall, and it really limited him. He only played in 1 preseason game. As you mentioned, basically re-injured it right after he was sent down. I think that shot went off the inside of his ankle, and there's not a lot of protection there.
Backlund's pass, bouncing loose in front and then hacked away. Kane missed it, and Backlund did not, but Ranta made the glove save.
Well, Brandon Peary stuck on the ice for a good 20 seconds after he blocks the blast from the point. Watch 37 as he turns to block this. right off the inside of that right foot. Not sure how high up it was, but watch 37 as he turned sideways. Yeah, that caught him square. He just made it back from the dressing room. Best thing to do is not take off your boot. It'll swell up.
Now Schmid keeps it in, but pass bounce loose side. Looking to counterattack. Chip that had Shaw giving chase. Weidman got there with him. Now it's taken by Saad. Looks in front for Bickle. Now stuffed at home himself, and a good save made by Berra. Here's Roosevelt. He put it to Bickle. Quick shot. Oh, Berra made the right pad stop. And then Monahan gets away. Going to be a 2-on-1. Monahan into the zone with Gagliardi. Monahan, the shot. Good save by Runta.
It's a huge save by Antti Ranta. Unfortunately, Brian Bickle didn't realize the defenseman was up on the play. He's got to back off there. He made a stand. It turned into a 2-on-1. And Ranta with a huge arm save.
Now Leddy, as the Hawks are changing, ringing it around the boards. It's all the way back to Seabrook. Ben Smith ahead for Marcus Kruger. He steps in, bowling to the net. Kruger goes to the late coming Keith, who fires. Missed the target. Held in by Seabrook. Now here's a quick shot by Smith. Good blocker save by Berra. And Bolig dropped it back to Keith. Across for Seabrook. A long flip shot, never got through. And Smith works the corner, hit there by Street, and the puck fought for in the corner. Now Smith dropped it back. That one picked off. And Westgarth will try to bang it back into Chicago ice. And Duncan Keith looks ahead for Sharp. Patrick Sharp with a wrist shot deflecting high and wide. Brody on a quick counterattack rush for the Flame. Boma gets in, tried to set it, just missing Stajan. Roosevelt backhands it out to Taves. Cleared it ahead. And Barrett's come out of the net, nearly gave it away to Sharp. Hossa got to the corner. Marian Hossa had it jammed loose to Jones. He cleared it to center. Hawks get back in. Sharp. Checked by Brody. And Stajan came to support. He's got the puck to Boma. Lance Boma moves in with a wrist shot. Fought off and bounced into the net. An awkward flash of the glove by Runt, who put it up near his head. He didn't catch it cleanly. It bounced into the blue paint. Then the goal. 2-1.
Yeah, not a good goal on Antti Ranta. Made the initial stop, but as you mentioned, was fighting it off, and Boma gets the members bounce here. Watch it go high in the air, and as it hits the blue paint, goes right into the empty cage. Nick Leddy coming back, just trying to swat it out of the way. He'll make that the forward on the play. That was Brandon Peary. But that's a shot that's just got to come off the body of Ranta. Down a little too low, it catches the top of his shoulder and heads up in the air. And an unfortunate bounce ends up in the back of the net.
So Lance Boma getting a wonderful chance to play with Stajan and Jones tonight. They're taking a video look at this goal.
And watch the angle the puck takes. It might even be going wide, and it makes a sharp left. Perry can't get to it. Not very often you see a puck bounce like that, but the divots and some of the snow you get in the blue paint will create a bounce and get it right in. I'm not too sure why they'd be checking this either, Pat.
It's Justin St. Pierre on the headset, I'm sure, to Toronto. But it's a good question. I don't know what the question mark would be here.
And I guess if you're Bob Hartley, you're a little upset. Well, he doesn't look too upset now, but you know, you score a goal, you want to get going right away. You want to get right back into it. And this really takes a little bit of the steam, a little bit of the wind out of their sails. Take one more look at the overhead. And Antti Ranta still one that's got to come off his body, and it can't come up. It looked like it was going to go wide, but it ended up making a sharp left turn into the net.
Good goal is the call that took longer than you might have guessed, but where it's back to the play with a 2-1 Calgary lead. Johnny Oduya. His pass missed. That's going to go all the way down. Icing Chicago. Wow, we played 12 minutes of the game. Probably a half a dozen icing calls between the two sides so far.
Well, you could wear the ring of a champion. Blackhawks Charities has launched an online raffle for a chance to win your very own authentic, personalized 2013 Chicago Blackhawks Stanley Cup ring. For more info, go to chicagoblackhawks.com.
Flames get the draw. Russell cleared it over to Butler. Down low, Colborne. And his pass went between his D-men. So Hawks can change, and it's happened a lot here in the first period. Chicago chasing matchups. Colborne offside there ahead of Monahan. So Quenneville has not liked what Bob Hartley's been throwing out with the last change, and the Hawks have been chasing the matchups so far tonight. Welcome back to Calgary. We remind you, as you enjoy Colborne, look forward to Miller time later in the game tonight. It'll be brought to you by Miller Lite.
Here's a look at Brian Bickell on the ice, back in the lineup after being a healthy scratch. And he mentioned that he was frustrated by it, a little embarrassed that he was mad, and maybe that's the most important thing, because Bickell has to play ticked off in order to be successful. He's one of those guys, and there's been a lot in the NHL. They play their best when they're playing mean and playing with an edge, and that's what Brian Bickell needs to bring to the game.
In 8 of the last 10 games in which he played, his ice time was under 10 minutes. So looking to be a more consistent performer this evening as the centering pass is broken up, and Shaw goes off the glass to get it out of there. Saad hustling in on Schmid, who's able to shield it away from him. And then McGrattan touched it loose. That's picked off. Bickell, long shot, missed the net. Rebound to Shaw. He tries. He shot it wide also. Taken by Leddy. But never got to Saad. Shaw came up with it though. Tried to center, it deflects. And now McGrattan able to clear it out of there. Flame tried to change quickly. Roosevelt ran out of time. The Hawks were changing as well. And now Giordano cleared it ahead. Here's Boma. Checked by Seabrook. Taken away by Hossa. Jones got a piece of him. It's cleared up the boards. Brody kept it for Calgary. Seabrook's long pass picked out of midair by Hossa, but he couldn't control it cleanly. T.J. Brody's pass deflected into Chicago ice. Keith checked by Jones. The puck cleared into the center ice area.
Well, Calgary comes hard, and they're not trying to play the puck either. They're just trying to take the man, especially if you're a defenseman back there. Keep your head up. Duncan Keith with a good clean hit by Jones.
Butler to Hudler. Chalmerson in the way of him. And Versteeg kicks to the stick looking for Kane, but he was well covered there by Backlund. Versteeg works back into the offensive zone. Versteeg across for Kane. He's shot. Went over top of the net, held in by Oduya to Peary down low. He had it roll away, and he gets it back. Peary taking away Hudler. And both teams changing him up here. Oduya bounce it out of the zone. Now taken by Marcus Kruger. Mara clearing it up the boards, and it bounced out to center ice.
Mara's actually done a good job corralling pucks. He played in Europe last year. You mentioned Pat in the Swiss Elite League. And a bigger ice surface. Normally goaltenders don't come out to play the puck as often.
Well, that's actually where Bob Hartley knew him from. They picked him up during the offseason, and partly on Hartley's recommendation. He really liked what he saw over in Switzerland. As Gagliardi works back for the Flame. Schmid put it in. Colburn checked. And back goes Butler.
Ill-advised drop pass by Ben Smith kind of killed the play.
Dug away by Saad. Senator Keith, a shot partially blocked out in front by a skating Schmid. And now the Flames look to move back. They might have a 3-on-2. Butler in for Street. There's a shot, attempt blocked by Seabrook. Now Westgarth knocked off the puck by Seabrook. Center pass the shot, and a good save by Raanta, point blank. Good chance there for Street. Now taken by Saad. Brandon Saad back into the Calgary zone to Keith. His shot into the glove of Reto Berra. 4 minutes remaining in the first, and Calgary has a 1-goal lead.
Drives to the net, some late game heroics by the Blackhawks here at the Saddledome. February 2nd, 2013. Last year it was Marian Hossa tying the game with 2 seconds to go. They ended up winning that in the overtime shootout. And then this year, November 27th, Patrick Kane. Just 18 seconds left, the game-winning goal. Patrick Kane, of course, scoring that first goal tonight for the Blackhawks. He's really lit it up against these Calgary Flames. That's 8 in the last 8 games. He's got 7 goals, 5 assists.
Right now the Flames. Goma able to clear his zone. Duncan Keith, 3rd in the entire league with 43 assists entering play tonight. Here to the head, bouncing puck for Taves. He's sticking out. Oh, what a save there! Rebound, they score! The initial shot from Taves was stopped, but Sharp found the rebound, and the Hawks have drawn even again.
And what a move by the captain, Jonathan Taves. Just smooth as silk, great hands, waltzes around the defenseman. What a great stop by Reto Berra. Unfortunately, he didn't have any help. And a good job by Patrick Sharp to head to the net. Watch that move right there. Just a stuff shot by the captain, Jonathan Taves. And I like what Patrick Sharp does here. He's not a spectator. He's not standing back watching. He's heading hard to the net, picks up that rebound, puts it right past Berra. Big goal for the Blackhawks.
That's 11 tallies in the last 17 games for Patrick Sharp. And Jonathan Taves, whose point production has been a little bit sporadic of late, able to get a bouncing puck to settle down and initiated the entire play. All right, here's Oduya, able to clear it to center ice.
And a big goal for Sharpie too. A little mini slump for him by his standards. Just 1 goal in his last 10 games.
It's taken by Patrick Kane. He races into the zone. Kane stick handles, tried a shot that was blocked by Butler. In behind Versteeg. Kane. Versteeg kicks to the stick. Looks to Kane. He's well covered. Shakes it back over to Versteeg, but it bounced to Butler. And he's able to clear. Brandon Peary in for Kane. Patrick Kane pulls up, looking for Peary. Where's a little help? He dropped it back. Rosenval's long one. Hit a leg out in front of the net. And the Flames miss on a pass attempt that's going to be icing Calgary.
Well, Jonathan Taves was on an ISO camera that last goal, the tying goal by the Chicago Blackhawks, and watch the concentration. Head up the whole time. Never lets to look down at the puck. Picks it up here, and that move as he goes down gets stopped by Berra, but there's Sharp with the follow-up. You know, that line's so successful because they all skate so well. They've got great hockey instincts, and they're hard on the puck too, tenacious on forechecks.
Colburn cleared it in. Gagliardi, who's got just 1 goal this year, tries for another, and that's grabbed by Raanta.
Well, learn your risk for heart disease at iHeartAdvocate.com. If you are high risk, an advocate cardiologist will see you within 24 hours.
Well, the Hawks have 9 shots on goal. There have been 7 blocked by the Calgary Flames in the first 18 minutes. So that's 16 shots in 18 minutes. That's not too dissimilar from the first time these teams played. It was a game the Hawks lost in overtime in the UC. But in that game, they had 44 shots, and the Flames had 26 blocks. I mean, that's 70 total shot attempts for Chicago against the Flames that night.
I remember that game. That was a game that Berra absolutely stood on his head.
Schmid, a long one, blocked by Hjalmarsson. And now Kruger ahead for Bowling. A long flipper is into the glove of Berra, who will hang on to this one. How about Reto Berra, who has had 6 wins this year and has never yet won an NHL game in 60 minutes. I mean, every win he's had has been in extra time. He's had 2 wins in overtime, and he's been absolutely spectacular in shootouts. He's 4-0 in shootouts this year, so the Hawks do not want to get past 65 minutes tonight.
And you can see, he's a big guy, 6'4", well over 200 pounds. I asked Jacques Cloutier, who's an assistant coach with the Calgary Flames, says he reminds him a little bit of Mike Smith of the Phoenix Coyotes.
Keith able to sidestep a check. A long shot hit a leg to Seabrook. He cranked it wide, though. Here's Keith. 80 for the period. Seabrook checked by Beaumont. Now Keith nearly had a problem. He nearly turned it over right at point-blank range. Stajan got to him. Hawks dump it back the other way. Berra out to play. It's a no icing, and Brody turned it over to Hossa. There's Sharp in behind. Final minute of the first. Sharp wants Hossa, but it bounced to Hjalmarsson, who unloads. Look out. That was way up over the net. The puck was rolling as Hjalmarsson let her go and shot it 10 feet over the net.
Yeah, that was a mistake by Berra, too. You're right, Pat. It was going to be an icing. He came out of the net. That nullifies it. And there's that's a field goal from the blue line. Puck on edge. A little air on it. There's Reto Berra. You talked about the success he's had in the shootout. He's not new to the shootout. They had the shootout in the Swiss Elite League last year, and he said he was very good there.
Versteeg threw it in front, just out of the reach of Peary, though. 40 for the period as Oduya moved it ahead. Here comes Kane. Patrick Kane pulls up the wide open. Oduya's going to let it go. Hit traffic in front. Never quite got to Berra. And now the Flames the other way. Hudler, who's their leading scorer, dropped it back into his own end. Now Hudler tipped it back into Chicago ice. Stempniak grabbed by Keith. Now Keith has lost his stick. Needs support from Shaw, who kicked it loose. Now picked up by Giordano, who fired it through the goal mouth, but that will finish the opening period tonight. 10 shots on goal for the visitors, 8 for the home Calgary Flames. And twice in the period, Calgary took the lead, and twice the Blackhawks were able to catch them. Backlund scored for Calgary. Patrick Kane got it back for Chicago. Then Buma for the Flames, and Sharp.
Blackhawks hockey on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by Hyundai. The brain says smart. The heart says gimme, gimme, gimme. Visit buyhyundai.com today. BMO Harris Bank. Get the official BMO Harris Blackhawks debit MasterCard at bmoharris.com/fancard. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. Corona Extra, who invites you to find your beach. And by Kia. To learn more, visit mykiachicago.com.
So Blackhawk fans, remember to bring your Blue Cross and Blue Shield card to all Blackhawk home games for a chance to be a part of the Blue Cross upgrade experience. Carry the card that gives you benefits wherever you are. Blue Cross through it all. And welcome back to Calgary in the Scotiabank Saddle Dome. Well, Saturday, Patrick Sharp and the boys head to the Shark Tank in San Jose and face off with Joe Thornton and the Sharks. Coverage starts at 9 with Chevy Blackhawks pregame live on Comcast Sportsnet. Blackhawks Sharks, Saturday at 9, only on Comcast Sportsnet. And a big game for the Blackhawks today. They've Lost 3 in a row going into this. They have not lost 4 in a row all year long. I want to make sure they get that turned around, especially to start this. Well, it's ultimately a 7-game road trip, but it's 6 games in the next 10 nights for Joel Quenneville and his crew.
So the Taves line will open up here for the Hawks against the Matt Stajan line. For the Flames, and we get underway in period 2.
In the second period of Blackhawks hockey is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
Brody rings it around. Giordano. Pass turned over. Taves tried a stop shot. That's handled by Berra.
You know, Pat, I'm just looking at the bench right now, and you see Brandon Saad playing the right wing. I don't see Marian Hossa on the bench. There's a couple of gaps over there. Could be an equipment problem. I didn't see anything happen in that first period, but right now Saad playing on that number 1 line.
So Hossa, who came into the game with 6 goals in his last 8 games, unavailable at the moment. All right, Taves. Didn't get it very deep. It's picked off to Brody. Bounce it into Chicago ice. Seabrook there. Here comes Taves. Taves gets the line, trying to drive to the middle, but could not squeeze through 2 checkers. And here's Oduya. The Hawks change him up on the go. Johnny Oduya. Actually been a -4 in his last 4 games. He and Hjalmarsson both with that scenario the last couple of outings. And a good pass at finds Kane. Might be a 3-on-2. Here's Kane into the zone, takes a look, then shoots it, and it was partially blocked. Good recovery by Russell defensively. Oduya with a long clip shot is blocked out in front. Peary working the boards, taken away by Backlund, and Russell flipped it deep and chased it himself. Oduya gets back to Hjalmarsson. On bank pass, the Versteeg's touch pass attempt didn't connect. And now the Flames get back in. Colburn tried to center it. Oduya knocked it away from Gagliardi. Colburn again. Fights his way towards the middle. Dropped it to Weidman. He avoids a check with a long shot deflecting up off the glass. Schmid kept it in. Now a shot blocked by Hjalmarsson, who's able to clear the zone.
Hey, Hjalmarsson and Oduya stuck out there for a while, and they still can't get off.
Now taken by Oduya, whose pass missed. Bola going to go all the way down, icing Chicago.
In our BMO Harris bank check replay, just moments ago, watch the hit by Russell on Johnny Oduya. I don't think Oduya was expecting that. I mentioned these Calgary Flames all finished their checks. A hard-working team.
All right, now the draw taken by Oduya. And again, the Hawks trying to change on the move here, not liking the matchup that was put out. Here's Butler for Calgary to Westgarth. 4th line on for the Flames. And the Hawks have Shaw, Bickle, Bolig out there at the moment. Here comes Shaw into the zone. Going to look to Bickle, who snapped it off. Good save by Berra. Rebound into the corner. Butler now lost it. Here's Saad. And the Flames really should have had clean possession of that puck. It was lodged in the official's skates, and Butler had trouble prying it free. It nearly was costed to Calgary. Now they're able to get it out. Back in is Leddy. Nick Leddy to Shaw, whose pass was up off the ice. Could not be gloved down by Saad. Back comes Jones in for the Flames. 2-on-1, centered right to the goal. They score! The Hawks got caught up the ice. It was a 2-on-1 for the Calgary Flames, and they're back in front.
Yeah, Nick Leddy had jumped up on the play, dropped the puck back to Shaw, the turnover ensued. And watch number 29 coming back, Brian Bickle. Looks like he has an opportunity, blows the wheel. It becomes a 2-on-1 instantly. Perfect pass there by the Calgary Flames. The finish by Stajan. Bickle goes down. Well, Seabrook trying to lay down. It's a pass that goes up over his stick. Calgary regains the lead.
Now the draw cleared into the Hog zone. Seabrook brings it around. It goes all the way down. This is going to be icing Chicago, and we get to good news as we can take a look at the Hawks bench. Marian Hossa, I just saw him coming out of the tunnel, so it must have been some sort of equipment situation. And by the way, we thought the second Hawks goal was scored by Patrick Sharp. Take another look. They've credited this tally to the boss. So Marian Hossa was right in the neighborhood after Taves was stopped. And they both been changed from Sharp to Hossa, so it's Hossa from Taves and Keith. 16:35 of the first. The lead goal for Calgary scored by Stajan from Jones. Here's a bouncing puck away to Stempniak, then Hudler. Jiri Hudler's pass deflecting out of the Chicago end. Here comes Brody. Pass was off the mark. Bounce loose to Sharp. Might have a 2-on-1. Sharp gets in for Kane. Patrick Kane moves in, looking for a little help. Dropped it to Chalmerson, who unloads, and a blocker save Berra. Chalmerson kept it in there. Now Sharp for Kane. It jumped away, though, and the Flames get it out. Oduya sends it back into Calgary ice. Berra playing it up the boards, held in by Versteeg. He was checked right away, and the Flames get out. Monahan forgot a little something at center. Back comes Peary. Brandon Peary sends it in deep. Now Versteeg working the corner. Dropped it back. Roosevelt with a long wrist shot into the glove of Berra, who didn't get much of a look at it until the last moment, but able to glove it and hold.
Well, during each Blackhawks game, visit the homepage of ChicagoBlackhawks.com and click on the BMO Harris Bank Ice Tracker. Monitor the game from your computer and mobile device with real-time stats, play-by-play, photos, and much, much more. Visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com for more info.
Five minutes gone by here in the second period. For the third time of the game, the Hawks have fallen behind. The first two times they had an answer to tie it. And Marcus Kruger has been great at the dot. He's now 8th in the league, and in the last 4 games, he's been 23-12 at the faceoff circle. And he wins another, but as he pulled it back, went out of the zone. And that lead pass to him ruled to be offside.
It's all that extra work that Marcus Kruger's been doing with Yannick Perreault. Yannick Perreault, part of the Blackhawks coaching staff. He works with the centerman, especially on faceoffs. And these last 10 games, 7 points in 10 games for a fourth-line center. That's pretty good. But you know, Kruger, and I talked to him about it a couple weeks ago, he's getting a little lower on those faceoffs. Right now deferring to Ben Smith because it's on the right-hand side. Ben Smith on his backhand.
Just saw those numbers for his last 10 games. How about this for a fourth-line center? There's only been 3 games out of the last 10 where he didn't have a point. So that's gravy time for any coach that has some fourth-line production. Out of the corner, Smith dropped it to Leddy. Back to Ben Smith, but he couldn't settle it down. Smith trying to bull his way to the net. Rolled it in behind. Now the wraparound and a save there. Rebound. They scored. No goal.
It's a quick whistle, though.
It's a quick whistle. They thought the puck had been frozen. That's a bad call, but Marcus Kruger should have tied the game. It's going to be disallowed by referee Justin St. Pierre.
Hey.
The initial stop was made, and he assumed the puck was underneath the Berra's pads. It was not.
No, and that's a great save by Berra. And, you know, now that I look at it from there, maybe it was under the pad. You know, I thought it actually came off his pad. It's under. Kruger hadn't heard the whistle. That's why he jammed it, but he was in the process of blowing the whistle. You see how upset head coach Joel Quenneville is. It was under the pad. Referee was in the process of blowing the whistle. I think that would be his explanation. I was going to blow it maybe across the line prior to. Gonna look from overhead. Let's see if we can see the puck come off the pad. It's jammed there. It's against the post. He stays with it. You know, I've got to agree from that angle. I've got to agree with the referee. If it's under the goalie's pad, you can't just bulldog it into the net. He couldn't see it anymore. He's going to blow the whistle. You know, originally I thought maybe it came off the pad and Kruger was just batting at it.
No goal.
And from our captain, Morgan Robocam, one more look at this stuff play. It's a real good play by Ben Smith to get Kruger the puck. The wraparound attempt, and he just stays with it. You see right away the referee waving it off and blowing the whistle. Joel Quenneville none too happy.
Now Peary to Kane in the corner. Hjalmarsson looks to center. Peary kicks to the stick, shooting. Oh, it's blocked out in front. Good play, Butler. That saved a headache for his goalie. The puck dumped back into the Hog zone. Hjalmarsson pressured by Monahan. Flames take it away. Center pass, quick shot. There, and a good save made by Ranta.
A real good stop because he soaked it up into his midsection. No rebound to be had.
6 minutes gone by in the second. The Hawks down one.
From our Xfinity's telestrators, we watch it. Nick Leddy, the defenseman, jumping up, and as we stop it, right now, good position here for Brian Bickle. He's got to retreat if there's a turnover. We'll watch what he does, and as the puck gets turned over, Shaw tries to force it. It gets going the other way. Bickle heads to the man with the puck. Then he blows the wheel. Ends up being a 2-on-1. That's the go-ahead goal for the Calgary Flames. It's a situation where Brian Bickle, he realizes I'm covering for the defenseman. I can't take a chance like that at the blue line. He ends up falling on the play, too. And that's the difference in this hockey game.
Off the draw, quick shot goes wide. Now it bounced over to Giordano, his quick wrister into the glove of Ranta. And Antti Ranta, you know, we mentioned his first ever NHL start came in this rink. Talked to him this morning about thinking back to that game on November the 27th. And he's a guy who usually, as most hockey players do, they'll have a morning skate, get a little pregame meal, and then take a nap. He usually will lay down for about an hour or so. He said he got about 8 minutes of sleep that afternoon. He rolling around, butterflies in his stomach. He couldn't get anything settled down at all. And I said, what about any keepsakes from that game? He says, oh, I've got the puck. And he pointed, I thought, to his shaving kit. I mean, it might have been his personal bag in his stall today, but looked to me like he might actually have his first winning puck in the NHL. He's got it. He carries it around with him.
Good luck.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's great. He's a great kid.
He is. Well, I'll tell you what, when you've got a record like he does, 12-2-3, that puck has been lucky.
Weidman keeps it in, looks to center, the pass deflecting. Saad the other way. Trying to buy a little time, ran out of it. Colburn got to him. And now the Flames, Gagliardi will chip it forward. Here's Leddy. Nick Leddy picks up a little speed, cleared it in for Taves. Giordano put it to the corner, but Hosa's there. Marian Hossa dropped it back, a long flip shot. Rosenthal never got through. It deflects out of play.
Blackhawks realizing that Calgary, one of those teams that likes to collapse around their goalie. The points are open, and we've seen a lot of attempts from the blue line. Not a lot getting through, though. They're either getting blocked, getting tipped. And that's something they'll have to work on, just making sure that, you know, even though they're not on net, they're getting through to the net.
Sharp helped by Taves. Now Jonathan Taves checked by Stajan. Then Jones came to jam it loose, and here comes Boma. Lance Bowman trying to dance on Roosevelt. He nearly got rid of a shot. Good cut across by Leddy to save his partner. Then a long flipper goes wide, chased down by Leddy.
Yeah, he bailed him out big time. That would have been a partial breakaway for Bowman. I think Leddy really took away his space.
Roosevelt into the zone. Centered it, and Taves deflected it just wide. Rebound, Oduya had it knocked away. Hossa able to regain. Brody for Stempniak. He cleared it ahead, then got it back. Lee Stempniak. That sandwiched along the boards, held in by Russell. A long wrist shot tip, never got to the net. And the Hawks able to jam it free. Versteeg ahead for Kane. The puck bounced over his stick. Now Versteeg fires a long pass that's picked off. Butler threw it towards the middle. A bouncing puck. Quick shot hit the side of the net and deflected back into the corner. Kane taking away Stempniak. Now off the boards. Here's a chance in front. Backlund, he couldn't get rid of a shot. And the puck cleared to the near side. Good sequence here for Calgary. A long shot. McGrath kicked away. Runta gave a rebound to the middle. And Oduya made the block. And finally the Hawks able to clear their own end.
Yeah, Patrick Kane really upset. Thought that Nicholas Hjalmarsson was cross-checked to start that play. He was knocked off his feet. That's when Calgary gained control. As you mentioned, lots of pressure from the Red Squad.
Ben Smith with a takeaway. Here comes Saad to Kruger. Marcus Kruger with a long wrist shot blocked. It comes back to him. Kruger across to Roosevelt. No lane. Here's Laddie Longman. Good save. Berra in traffic. And Westgarth cleared it to the boards. McGrattan, and a penalty to be called, the first infraction of the game halfway through regulation time. And the Hawks are going to get the first power play.
Ben Street with the hold. Watch along the boards. He's battling Nick Leddy. Right there. Was actually holding on to him just before Leddy got to the puck. So an opportunity for this power play to even things up.
A power play that has 1 goal in 6 games. They're 1 out of the last 20. With a man advantage, here's the draw to Kane, then Keith. Patrick Kane to Patrick Sharp, who lets it go. That's blocked to Keith. Now Keith for Taves. Back to Keith with a long blast. Good save there. Rebound is cleared the other way. Now both teams tonight, when they do get a power play, have to be aware. The Flames have scored 6 shorthanded goals this year. That's the 3rd best in the league.
And that's what happens when you're a shot-blocking team, especially on the power play. You block a shot, you could end up with a breakaway.
And now they're going to get an odd man rush, 3 against 2. Here comes Stempniak cutting in, shooting. Big save, rebound, open net, they score. The initial save made by Runta, but the rebound just laid loose in front. A short-handed goal for Calgary, and they're up 2.
Well, just as you had mentioned, Pat, this team very dangerous. Now 7 shorthanded goals. Patrick Sharp's got to get that deeper. There's 3 guys behind him now. It's a 3-on-1. He's coming back hard. And Duncan Keith does a great job. Almost gets his stick on that rebound. Can't quite reach it, though. And it's Backlund coming in to pick up the loose change. He jumps on it. You know, shorthanded. That was Giordano who jumped up from the defense position to make it a 3-on-1. It's going to be the end of the night for Antti Raanta. And you can't really blame him for that one. Maybe more of a situation where Joel's trying to get the team energized, sending a message.
Well, 15 shots for Calgary to this point of the game. 4 have gone in. Raanta done, Crawford on. And still 78 for Chicago power play. All right, now here comes Saad. Brandon Saad got sandwiched on the boards. Hossa came out of there with it. Hossa picks his way in front. The loose puck hacked to the other side by Stajan and winds up at center. Here's Nick Leddy. Now Saad gets the line to Hossa, looking to center, just missing Saad. It was tipped right out by a Calgary player and laid underneath Ramo, or I should say Ibarra, and they clear it.
That was Christopher Stieg. He was trying to bank it in off Barra. He knew he had a bad angle. Probably wouldn't be able to get it in by himself. Tried to put it off the big netminder. A good awareness from Barra. He felt it hit his body. He reached back into the blue paint, make sure it didn't cross the line.
Here's Peary. Keith to Roosevelt. Duncan Keith with a long shot, never got through. Here's Patrick Kane. Keith dropped it back. They got to Bollig at the front of the net here. Kane around to check, centered it. Peary the backhand, and that hit Bollig, who had been knocked down. The Calgary penalty over, both teams at full strength. Here's Keith moving in. Centered it, the pass broken up Stempniak. Keith able to keep it in. Goes across to Kane. Picks his way towards the middle. Couldn't get rid of an attempt. And his pass turned over to Backlund, who got rid of it. So the Flames not only kill a Hawks power play, but score against it. And now a 4-2 Calgary lead.
It's giving them some energy, too. You can just see him right now coming back with speed, coming back with purpose. Really strong on the puck.
Gagliardi could only get as far as center. Loose puck taken by Sharp. Moves around, check right in, and Sharp tied up by Monahan at the last moment without getting a penalty. Here's a Jomerson along, but that's off a leg to Colburn.
Sorry, Pat. The youngster just saved a great scoring opportunity. Just kept his legs moving. A nice little hook of the stick on Patrick Sharp.
Now Oduya fires it off the glass to clear. Here comes Ben Smith in his zone. A wrist shot into the goal. He scores. Ben Smith on a long wrister that Barra should have been able to glove. He did not. Off the tip of the mitt and in. Now it's 4-3.
A great shot by Ben Smith, and the key here, he shoots in stride. So hard to do, especially to get some zip on it, to get some energy behind it. But watch as he's striding, just lets it go. And that's certainly one that Barra should have had. Right into his glove, right out of his glove, into the net. A big goal for the Blackhawks, who were seeing the momentum slide away from them. They carried the first period, even though it was 2-2. They carried most of that period. Right now, Ben Smith gets them back to within a goal.
An assist the other night for Ben Smith. He scores here. It's his 7th of the year, and back to a 1-goal disadvantage. By the way, in the game here earlier this year in Calgary, where the Hawks eventually won, they were down 2-0 in that game. Here's Keith around to check. Dropped it back. Mikko long one. Oh, and Barra never saw it, but it deflected wide. Now the Flames start back. Weidman. His pass missed, going all the way down, icing Calgary.
Yeah, this is Brian Bickell's first shift since getting that goal scored on. And he had an energetic shift out there. Big hit, and the shot from the point, as you mentioned, Barra never saw it. And it didn't get through to the net. And that's what Brian Bickell has to do. Play with a little bit of energy. He was mad, obviously, with that last goal that he was on the ice for. Got the hit, got the shot. Those are the kind of things that are going to make him successful.
Well, this, for the Hawks, is in their last 20 games, counting tonight, is only the 11th time they've gotten to a third goal. So it's a team that is usually pretty solid defensively, but built by and large on offense, lead the league in scoring, and hopefully a little confidence gained tonight offensively with this long and very difficult road trip staring him in the face. Stajan's pass in front. Jones couldn't hold it. It would have been in. Now Jones going to pass it to himself. It's held in. Russell long flip shot. Good save by Crawford through a screen. Now taken by Kane. And Versteeg looks across to Letty, who's checked by Butler right at the line. Versteeg. Letty had it bounce away and out to center. Now the Hawks. Versteeg gains the line. Backhand pass smothered by Butler. Versteeg took it back. Looking to center one. That's picked off to Jones. And back goes Oduya. Hjalmarsson backhands it right onto the stick of Sharp. He put it to Hossa. A ring around Brody is picked up, and here come the Flames. Backlund gets the line, dropped it to Stempniak. His shot, good save by Crawford. A pretty tough chance to open his night. He thought he was going to have an off night. Not anymore. He's in, and he's down one.
Time now for our GMC professional grade save, and it was just moments ago. Corey Crawford, as you mentioned, Pat, coming in cold. He's got a screen in front of him, too. That was Lance Boma providing a good screen. The big body of Crawford blocks that. You see his numbers against the Flames, 3-2-1. Took the loss against Winnipeg a couple of nights ago at the United Center. Just allowed 2 goals. And there's Boma, who actually has, and that's really the only bad goal I thought that Raanta let in, that one off of Boma. High off his shoulder, up in the air, took a crazy bounce into the net. But pretty tough to blame a goalie 3-on-1 when you're shorthanded.
All right, the Flames. Schmid will put it into the Chicago end. Taken by Oduya. Long bank pass for Bolig. Dropped it to Kruger. His wrister well wide. And Stempniak rolled it to center. Now Marcus Kruger has room to take a look. Ahead for Smith. Van Smith with Bolig going to the net. Here's Oduya. Oh, he wanted to get it to Bolig, but the pass smothered by Weidman. And back come the Flames. Hawks going to get a penalty. Here's a chance. Gagliardi. Rob check right in. What a save by Crawford. A spectacular maneuver by T.J. Gagliardi to get him right to point-blank range. Crawford made the save, but as the rush got underway, the hooking call against Oduya.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a 3-on-2. Johnny Oduya gets this puck from Ben Smith, a great pass. And then as he's coming back, you see that hook right at the tail end. That's all it took. And yeah, good concentration there, too, from Corey Crawford just to stay with that. Calgary going really hard to the net. This Calgary team, they were red hot in their last game. They were 3 for 5 with the man advantage against Nashville. They ended up winning that game in a shootout. They'll get an opportunity here.
Well, and look what Quenneville does here. We told you both teams are not bad shorthanded. Now the Hawks have 5 shorthanded goals. That came in 5th best in the league. And he starts the PK with Taves and Hossa in front. Here's the draw. The Calgary power play, by the way, 4 of the last 11 over 4 games. Russell pressured by Hossa, forced it loose. Berra jammed it away. It bounces a couple of times, finally back to the Flames. Boma put it across. Here's Backlund in his zone. He pulls up. Now leaves it. Hudler dropped it back. Giordano will look back to Hudler. Here's the one-timer. Up high over top of the net. And Boom was right at the front of the net. Well, he was till he was just flattened by Keith. Now it's taken back by the Flames. Giordano. Russell shot it, and that hit his own man to Boma out in front of the net. And an attempted keep by Russell was not kept in offside.
Well, Boma's been a factor in this hockey game. He's a big body. He likes to screen, and watch Duncan Keith. Watch his stick. Takes care of the man in front. Bit of a cross check. You can get away with a little more when you're shorthanded. That certainly happens to Duncan Keith. I think it helps you've got a Norris Trophy in your back pocket too, but Duncan Keith making Boma pay the price. You want to stand out front, you're going to get treated like that.
Now Brody, Jones, Weidman. Down it goes. Monahan trying to pry it loose, but it squirts instead to Kruger. And the Hawks change him up again on the PK. 3 times in the first minute, 10 or so. A bad pass chased down by Gagliardi. He lost it. Saad, the other might have a 2-on-1. Saad's with Hossa. Brandon Saad going wide. Hossa to the net. Here's the pass. Hossa right in. Oh, we tried to give it back to Saad. It was broken up. Now a shot. Jones, rebound. Hossa. Short-handed goal answered. Marian Hossa able to answer the Calgary shorty with one of his own. He now has got more shorties than any other active player in the game. And more importantly, his team is tied at 4.
Oh, a huge short-handed goal. And Reno Berra makes a great play to break up the pass back. Watch Marian Hossa tries to give it back, and that's Berra's stick. It goes right out to the point. He can't recover from that point, though. He needs some help from the other 5 guys in front of him. Watch the stick. It goes way out to the point for the Blackhawks. There's the blast right to Marian Hossa. And that's just a good, hard-working, short-handed shift. He and Brandon Saad out there. Now remember, it was Hossa and Toews to start. The second rotation was Hossa and Saad, and they hit pay dirt.
So 23 goals for Marian Hossa so far this year, 2 tonight, and 3 of those goals have been short-handed. So of the 6 shorties the Hawks have scored this season, the boss has half of them. Giordano back into the Hawk zone, looking to center, picked off Keith. He backhands it out of there, and Toews works his way into the zone. Toews to the backhand, shooting, and a save there. Rebound. Smith couldn't get his stick loose, and it squirts to the corner. Now the Hawks penalty over, both teams full strength. Kane got it to Toews, put it in front, sharp as checked. Here's Rosabal. Rosabal's long shot, goal post, rebound to the line. Oh, and somehow Berra kept it out of the net. It never crossed the line, it didn't look like, but got to it. Now here's Toews to Rosabal, a long blast, kicked away Berra. Rebound into the corner. Now Russell rings it around. Boma hacked it out of the Calgary end.
Kane had a wide open net on the backhand. I'm not too sure whose stick came in the way, but he just shanked it a little wide.
Toews back into Kane, walks in, wires, missed the net. Rebound taken by the Flames, Stajan. Then Stempniak crisscrossing into the zone. Gagliardi with a long shot off the leg to Stajan. Oh, and his backhander just wide. Held in Butler, final minute of the second. And if you like offense, you don't want this period to end. Here's Kane, able to get as far as center.
Yeah, this has turned into a real track meet. Entertaining for us. I'm not too sure about the coaching staff.
Stajan put it ahead. Stempniak across. Brody moves in with a wrist shot, kicked away by Crawford. Rebound to the boards, hacked ahead. Here comes Versteeg, but Brody able to get in his way. And a penalty coming up, Chicago. Flames get the 6th attacker on with a goalie off. Gagliardi lost it, and back to a power play for Calgary.
Well, that last Hawks chance, a big shot from Michael Roosevelt goes off the post. Watch Patrick Kane and look at the cage he'll be looking at. Goes to his backhand. Oh, and it's a stick of Backlund as he comes back. Berra helped push it away, and then Backlund saves a sure goal. Watch 11 right there. And Kane can't believe it. One more time, watch 11. And that stick comes in.
Ben Smith won an important draw here, allowing the Hawks to clear it. That'll finish the second period. The Blackhawks will have to start the third short-handed, and the Flames with a fresh sheet of ice with which to work. Calgary in the second period had 10 shots. The Blackhawks had 14. But the Flames scored goals from Stajan and Backlund, and Smith and Hossa answered for Chicago.
Blackhawks hockey on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Do you believe in the power of possibility? The Illinois Lottery. Anything's possible. And by Toyota. Elevate your style with the 2014 Toyota Corolla. Toyota. Let's go places.
Welcome back to the Scotiabank Saddledome. A 4-4 tally as we get ready for the third period here in Alberta. We get a chance to talk to assistant coach Mike Kitchen for a second. There's no doubt, you knew coming in, Calgary is a very hard-working team. You guys have much more skill than they do. Would you like to see the third period be a track meet? What was the sort of the talking points going in?
Well, the biggest thing, that was our pregame talk before the game started, is how much of a hard-working team they were. Or they are, and it's something we had to match their work ethic and get it in. We got to make sure we get it into their end, and they do a great job, backside pressure on us, and they box us out in their own end. So we got to start to look to shoot through the rush, use their D as a screen, and forecheck off that shot.
Yeah, Mike, not very often you guys give up, two odd-man rushes that lead to goals in one period. Are the guys just maybe trying to manufacture a little too much offense?
Well, I think we're trying to be a little too cute. I mean, it's something we addressed before the game. We have too much east-west play through the neutral zone, and we'll turn the puck over there. And plus, our third man's not responsible enough. We got to make sure our third man's higher, where we can cut off their attacks, and we don't get into those outnumbered attacks, because we want our D to get early positions on their wingers down low. So that means we have to have a high third man.
All right, real important third period here to open up the road trip. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike. Now, a PK situation for the visitors. Remember, a late penalty to a Christopher Steeg, so 1:47 for the Calgary power play, opening up the third.
And this third period of Blackhawks hockey is brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Honda dealers.
By the way, so to this point of the game, the combined save percentage for the three goalies that have played tonight is 81. So if any team can get a few saves here in the third, they're going to win.
Oh, and that's Ramo in the net.
So neither starter finishes as Boma gets into the Blackhawks zone, but taken away by Taves. Fights his way forward, but Russell able to stay in his way, and back come the Flames. Backlund dumped it in. Crawford played it right to Seabrook. An easy clear for him. And it deflected eventually out of play, so bad luck for the Hawks there. Some more time should have come off. And there you see Kari Ramo, who starts the third period in relief of Reto Berra.
He did not have a very good outing, and there's Reto Berra. Ramo did not have a very good outing his last game here against Nashville. Allowed 3 goals on 12 shots. He was pulled about 6 minutes into that second period. So important, once the Blackhawks do finish this kill, get some shots his way.
So the game starts with Reto against Antti. Now it's Kari against Corey. All right, here comes Brody driving in, shooting. Crawford soaked it up, no rebound. Oh, that stung him. That got him in an area that's a little less protected, it looks like, and you can see he's doubled over.
Wow, he's not moving either. And that's a heck of a shot from DJ Brody, who's got lots of speed. And as he goes down in the butterfly, and actually that caught him up in the rib. He's got a big chest protector there. Obviously had some pepper on it, and he felt that.
Smith able to pull the draw back, and Keith able to get it out of the zone. 40 for the man advantage for Calgary. Now the Flames. Jones to Monahan. Rings it around looking for Stajan. That Stajan's had a big night with a goal and an assist, and he's been 10 and 4 at the faceoff dot. This clearing attempt held in momentarily, then Ben Smith battled it out of there.
Real good job by Ben Smith. He's seeing a lot more time killing penalties now. He wasn't used in that respect the first 20 games of this year, and he's really earned a spot as a penalty killer.
As Giordano comes away, the Hawks penalty over. Backlund right around Seabrook, centered it, and Hoodler made another pass attempt that missed Stempniak. Maybe one pass too many for the Flames. Now the Hawks have a rush gummed up at center ice, so both teams are at full strength.
For Hoodler, he's got Stempniak going to the net. You know, even if there's a rebound, he's going to jump on it. You got to get a shot there.
Taves, a long pass finding Sharp. Patrick Sharp hangs on. Dropped to Letty, a long blast, kicked away. Ramo, rebound was shot through the slot area by Kane. Now Roosevelt. Sharp takes a look. Here's Kane looking for Taves. That was broken up. Roosevelt back down low for Kane, then Taves. Jonathan Taves battles towards the middle, but Hoodler stayed in his way. Taves put it on the stick of Kane. Kane goes across to Letty. Back for Kane, and a diving poke check by Hoodler got it out. Flames changing quickly. Hawks get it back in. They need a change as well. Giordano for Calgary. Now Brody. And the puck dumped in. Crawford with Hjalmarsson. He's able to find Versteeg, and out come the Hawks. Hossa chipped it in deep, was short of center when he did, so icing Chicago here. We promised it earlier. We'll show you now. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
It's that Marian Hossa goal. Short-handed. His pass back to Saad gets broken up by Barry. He stays down low, though, and picks up that shot by Nicholas Hjalmarsson. 2 goals on the night. His third 2-goal effort of the year.
Now bouncing puck on the boards. Back the other way, Versteeg. Goes across to Hossa. He's got Peary with him. Peary to the net. Hossa's got the puck and shoots it. And a save by Ramo. No rebound with Peary lurking.
Yeah, that's a real big stop by Ramo. And you mentioned Peary showing a good burst of speed there towards the end of a shift. Hoping for some loose change, and that's exactly what Marian Hossa was hoping for. Maybe the shot's got to go. Well, he had to get it up. I was thinking a lower shot would create a rebound off the pads. He had a defenseman sliding in front of him. Good decision by Marian Hossa to get it up, and Ramo takes it in the gut.
Now Boma trying to dance Seabrook, but he picked it off. And now the Flames move forward. It bounces toward the corner. Seabrook brings it around Bickle. Had a puck jump away from him. Now a centering pass and a save. Crawford. Rebound, a stuff attempt from Westgarth denied. McGrattan to the corner. Taken away Keith to Shaw. Now Seabrook. It deflects to Bickle along Brister. Up high off the glass.
Andrew Shaw, good decision in his own zone. The pass came up the middle to him. He went right back to the defenseman. Not very often you see that, but he knew that he might turn it over, threw it right back to Duncan Keith. He went to his other D partner, and an easy breakout for Chicago.
Kruger taken down along the boards. Held in Hjalmarsson, a long shot into the glove of Ramo. Holding. And now a little stare down. McGrattan and Bollig had a duel in the last game here in Calgary, but a little conversation after Bollig got to the front of the net. They all separate.
Well, doing what he's supposed to do, go hard to the net, create a little bit of havoc, a little bit of confusion. Kevin Westgarth, I'm sure Blackhawk fans remember the fight that Kevin Westgarth had with John Scott when John Scott was a member of the Chicago Blackhawks. Took a hard one to the cheek.
Taves pulls the draw back to Roosevelt. Long shot and a save. Ramo. Rebound held in Hossa, but eventually chopped away. Now Mark Giordano, who extended a scoring streak to 7 straight games, picked up an assist earlier tonight. This one is shot in. Roosevelt. And that's ruled to be icing Calgary.
Well, tomorrow the Bulls head to Texas for an old-fashioned shootout with the Spurs. Tune into Comcast Sportsnet, the only place to get your hometown call. From Neil Funk and Stacey King, coverage starts at 8 with Kia Bulls pregame live. Bulls Spurs tomorrow night on Comcast Sportsnet.
Face-off window, Jose shot blocked. He tried again, it didn't get through. Brody. And it loose, and the Flames get up the ice. Jones chipped and chased. David Jones in the corner, centered. Oh, he just missed Boom out in front of the net. Hossa the other way. Hossa crisscrossing left at Sharp. Shooting into the glove of Ramo.
Well, Lance Boma did a real good job down at the other end, getting in front of Brent Seabrook, and Patrick Sharp down at this end. Maybe a shot he'd like to have back. You got to keep it away from his glove. And, you know, Joel Quenneville talked about this last game, Pat, the game against Winnipeg, the game that Chicago really dominated. Didn't like where the Blackhawks were putting their shots. And a lot were going into the glove of Al Montoya, a lot going into his midsection. Nothing coming off his pads. And he thinks their shot selection could have been a little better and maybe generate second and third opportunities off of that.
Butler cleared it. Seabrook fires it back out to center ice while being hit by Gagliardi. Back comes Versteeg to Kane. Patrick Kane moves in around to check to the backhand. Couldn't get rid of it. Couple of Calgary sticks there, and back they come to the counterattack. Monahan's got it with Gagliardi. Tried to center. Good play by Keith to scurry back and break up the pass.
The two guys really good work. Patrick Kane and Duncan Keith both coming back hard.
Now Kane. Taking away Monahan. And Nick Leddy. Now put it ahead to Saad. Brandon Saad sends it in deep. Weidman. Westgarth. This fourth line for Calgary only had 3 shifts in the second period. They're out here now. Street had a blowout, but then able to get it back. Street threw it in front. That's picked off to Weidman. Now Shaw, checked by McGrattan. But Shaw came out of there with it. Leddy heads up into the zone. Put it to Shaw, kicks to the stick. One pass too many. McGrattan, or I should say, McGrattan was in the way of that. Now in behind the goal, here's Saad. Dropped it back. Oduya to Hjalmarsson, a one-timer. Hit some traffic out in front. And Street cleared it. The rink wide is picked off. Good play by Weidman, but now Weidman takes a look. Sends it in behind, centering pass, just missing. Backlund goes in front, a long shot is blocked. Good play by Bickle to get in the shooting lane. And no icing here against the Hawks.
Yeah, Dennis Weidman could have got to that puck. He wanted to change, though, so he avoided it. Good call by the linesman.
Ben Smith down low. Spins to his backhand, moves to his forehand, and a shot hit a skate. Deflecting to Leddy. Now Roosevelt pinching to keep it in. There's Kruger. Roosevelt back in behind Kruger. Helped by Bowling. Marcus Kruger. Michael Roosevelt drives in deep. And Stempniak able to take away and clear it. This is going to go far enough. Icing Calgary. The Flames wanted to change. Now they'll have a tired group out there. And the Hawks get some fresh skaters over the boards.
Yeah, dominating shift by that fourth line. Well, looking for a Valentine's Day gift? 100 lucky Blackhawk fans have a chance to win a replica Chicago Blackhawks championship pendant. Compliments of Dunkin' Donuts. To enter, visit the Chicago Blackhawks Facebook page through February 10th.
And as you would have expected, Bob Hartley timeout with his fourth line on the ice and the Taves line jumping over the boards. He says, I better got that one chance to let my boys catch their breath, and I'll use it here in a 4-4 game midway in the third.
Yeah, that.
So we'll take a look at our KFC fan cam. building full of red tonight. Or some red, white, and black as well, but the Flames' main colors, red, white, and black also. They got a little yellow in there as well. Hawks, Taves wins a draw here. Keith to host a quick shot blocked. And the Flames get it out so they can get off and get the wholesale change they were in need of. Patrick Sharp. His pass picked off Butler. Gagliardi trying to drive on Keith, could not. And back come the Hawks. Sharp into the zone. Patrick Sharp whiffed on a wrist shot. Taves carried on. Turns in deep to Sharp. Quick shot. Oh, and he missed the net point blank, but he was at a bad angle. Keith kept it. Now Taves. Back to Keith. Tees up a long one. That's off a leg out in front of the Flames. Able to get it out.
Yeah, good block by Butler. They had something going there. And Patrick Sharp, after he missed that shot, even though he's at that angle, he realized he had traffic in front, threw his hands up to his head, realized that he'd like to have that one back.
Peary stopped by Stajan at center. We've come to the halfway point of the third period. I think this is the first time we've gone 10 minutes in the game without a goal from anybody. Each team scoring twice in each of the first two periods. Now here come the Flames. Boma going wide. Had a shot blocked by Roosevelt. Stempniak taken away for Stieg. And then Leddy. And here comes Kane. He's got no help. 1 against 3 trying to buy time, but ran out of it. And the Flames have Stempniak into the zone. His drop pass found nobody home.
It's too bad Patrick Kane was a little tired at the end of the shift. Could have been a 2-on-1 if he'd have turned on the burners.
Nicholas Hjalmarsson to Brandon Saad. Checked by Schmid. Stempniak picked it up. And now the Flames clear it back into the Hawks zone. Backlund couldn't get it through Hjalmarsson. And now Calgary has to dump it in. Here's a long shot to save Crawford. Rebound loose in the middle, and Bickle couldn't catch up with it. The Flames do. Gagliardi put it in deep. Colburn left it there. Monahan. The Colburn in behind. And Gagliardi had his pass picked off by Saad. Russell took it back for the home team.
Good stick by Nicholas Hjalmarsson. The Flames actually had something going. They had a shot. They got the rebound. They had the Blackhawks running around, and good work from number 4 to get that puck away, and then Saad finished it off, got it out of the zone.
Hawks have had 6 shots in the first 12 minutes of this period. The Flames have had just 4, and they've iced it again. Here's the ANA upcoming schedule. Busy again tomorrow night. Will be in Vancouver. The Blackhawks taking on the bitter rival Canucks, and then that swing through California, which is about as daunting a task as you can find in the NHL. All those 3 California teams are outstanding. All right, here's Seabrook. Keith has some room, put it to Taves. Sharp's pass finds Taves, and the play is ruled offside. We've played 12 minutes here in period 3. The score remains even at 4.
And from our Xfinity Telestrator, watch the back check. A couple of guys, both Patrick Kane and Duncan Keith. And as this sets up, if we stop it right now, Patrick Kane coming out back hard on his guy. Duncan Keith has a lot more room to make up, and keep an eye on them both. And as we run this, Duncan Keith makes sure he takes that high pass away. The trailing man, he gets it. Good work, too, by Patrick Kane, who turned the puck over down the other end. Made sure he got on his horse and got back into good defensive position.
Hawks change the D up. After that face-off, the fourth line on here for Chicago, the Monahan line for the Flames, who clear it into Chicago territory. Colburn against Leddy. They lock up. Gagliardi taken away by Leddy. Then he turned it over. Here's a chance for the Flames, and it was shot wide. Gagliardi, a great chance, but missed the net by a couple of feet.
Like how Corey Crawford came out, really challenged that shot. He was way out on top of his paint. Not a lot of room for the shooter to look at.
Marcus Kruger to Nick Leddy, gets the line. Had his shot blocked by Weidman. And then Gagliardi fights his way to center. Back comes Roosevelt to Sharp. Patrick Sharp, who looked like he had scored a goal in the late stages of the first period. The goal eventually changed to Hossa. Now a steal by the Flames. A shot, boom, a rebound, loose in front. Dug out of there by Hossa. But just to finish that, Sharp, who we thought had a goal. Here's Taves at the other end shooting. Good save by Berra. And back in behind is Hossa, who's got 2 goals tonight. Dropped it back to Keith. Now here's a long shot deflecting as the Flames another shot block. We get down to 6 minutes remaining in the third.
You mentioned that save by Berra. He had a quick stick on the rebound because Marian Hossa is standing right there. He just Kerry Ramo make that. He made the stop, swiped it out of the way. Marian Hossa ready to pounce.
They're able to clear the zone. Hudler gets into Chicago ice. Dropped it back. Butler to Russell. A wrist shot well off the mark. Hudler, his centering attempt was a hot pass that was not redirected. Now Russell out of the corner. Threw it out. Here's Butler. Put it across. A long shot by and save by Crawford, who's able to hang on. It's 4-4 to the late stages of period 3.
Tonight after the game, stick around for Sports Night Central, presented by CLR. Topics include Super Bowl mania and Northwestern football players wanting to form a union. Don't miss Sports Night Central tonight after Blackhawks postgame live. In the second period, Blackhawks had a goal taken away, waved off. The fourth line again, Marcus Kruger jamming at the puck. The whistle goes under the pad of the goalie at that time, Rito Berra. Marcus Kruger not too happy.
Right now they battle in the Calgary zone, and Kruger came out of there with it. Stempniak against Smith on the other side. It's held in by Oduya. Now Bolick down low. Took some contact. Puck taken away, then taken back by Kruger. Try to center it. That's handled by Ramo, who will hang on for a whistle.
Well, this fourth line has a goal tonight. They scored against the Winnipeg Jets, the Blackhawks' only goal, and I just love the pressure they put on the puck. And not only that, when they do get it, they've got some pretty good offensive instincts. Great cycles down low. The last time they were out there, they had the fourth line for Calgary hemmed in. Remember, they iced it, and Joel Quenneville was able to get that number 1 line out there.
Lane Jones dumps it. Roma works against Seabrook. Tried to center. It's picked up by the Flames. Here's Giordano. He put it across. Brody couldn't find a lane. Giordano will. His shot. Good save by Crawford through a screen. Rebound Boma. Seabrook kicked it up the boards. Taves made a good backhand pass, and here come the Hawks out of the zone. Sharp. Right along shot that was blocked to Stajan. And now the Flames dump it in.
Lance Boma's had a strong game for the Flames. He scored tonight. He won a couple of board battles there deep in the Blackhawks zone and threw it back to the point.
Kane dancing away from one check, gets the line. Patrick Kane's backhander off the side of the net to Peary. Left it for Versteeg. He looks to Kane. Patrick Kane able to shake a check, put it in front for Stieg. What a save, Ramo. Now Kane, he couldn't get it through all the traffic in front. And it winds up back at center.
Great cycle shift by that line. Unfortunately, that pass from Kane in the feet of Christopher Stieg. He felt it, just couldn't get a stick on it.
Colburn dumped it. Leddy grabbed in the corner. Hoodler jammed it loose. Kruger in the slot jammed it away. Now a steal by Smith. Counterattack for the Hawks, fourth line. Smith in on Brody, looking to drive the net, and just at the last moment, traffic there. Here's Bowling clearing it in deep. Colburn for the Flames. Cleared it back the other way, going to be icing Calgary here. You know, I was mentioning earlier, Patrick Sharp got kind of a double whammy late in the first period. We thought he had scored a goal, and as it turned out, he took a whack at the puck, and Marian Hossa's stick was inside that. So not only did he have a goal taken away, he didn't even get an assist on the play. So kind of a double jeopardy for the Hawks, number 10 on that sequence. Right now, Shaw. His pass missed, icing Chicago here. Let's take a look back at what I was just talking about. And the goal was initially announced as Marian Hossa's goal. And Taves' rebound came loose, and Sharp took the whack. And watch this, it's Marian Hossa's stick, the left-hand shot that was kind of in the way of Sharp's whack and the puck. So he gets credit for it. And Sharp gets a thanks for coming.
And a plus.
Yeah, right, gets a plus. Here's a battle at center, and we get down to 2 minutes remaining in the third period. Hossa. It is poked away. Here comes Taves. A little work back into the Calgary zone, trying to pass it to himself in the corner. Working against Brody there. Taves able to hang on. Then it was cleared around the boards. Seabrook kept it. Now taken by Hossa. They battle on the wall. And now Sharp for Chicago. Patrick Sharp was forced all the way back to center ice with 70 left in the third. Giordano ahead for Gagliardi. Could not get away from Seabrook. And final minute now of regulation time. Nicholas Hjalmarsson works back up the ice. Hjalmarsson with some speed, stripped of it as he got to the line. It's cleared ahead for Gagliardi, who bounced it out to center. Peary back into Kane. Patrick Kane with Peary to the net. Centered one, it hit the side of the goal. Peary threw it in front, nobody home, Chicago. Now Peary gets it back, centered, but that one picked off Colburn, and he hoists it back the other way. Down to 15 left. Kane into the zone. Patrick Kane pulls up. Topped it back. Seabrook brings it around. For Stieg with 5. In behind Peary. He missed it. And this game's going to go to OT in Calgary tonight. An incredibly scoreless third period. I say incredible because each team scored twice in each of the first 2 frames tonight. Neither starter has finished in the blue paint. And Crawford and Ramo will go to OT. Welcome back to Calgary. Let's wind Steve Conroy up. He's going to show you 8 goals here.
Coming at you fast and furious. Michael Backlund gets inside position on Nicholas Hjalmarsson, stays with it. Slips one by Antti Ranta. They respond. That's a pass from Versteeg to Patrick Kane. And then a soft goal on Ranta. A high one from Boma. Blackhawks respond again. It looks like Sharps, but that's there. He had posts his goal. And that was all in the first period. Second period, a 2-on-1 leads to a goal by the Calgary Flames. Then shorthanded. This was the end of the night for Antti Ranta. It was 4-2 at the time. Ben Smith makes it 4-3. And then Marian Hossa towards the end of that second period, maybe 4-4.
Here comes Brandon Saad in extra time. Saad going wide. Picked off by Brody. And here comes T.J. Brody. Gains the Hog zone. In behind for Jones. He drops it back. Brody looks again to Jones. He's got room to tee it up with a blast. He just missed the far post. Held in, and a good save by Crawford on Giordano, who drops it back. Brody there. Giordano down low. Stage and check by Seabrook. Giordano dug it out, then Stage and put it out in front. Here's Brody, a blast, and a save by Crawford. Rebound taken by Saad, and the Hawks need a change. They haven't touched the puck for the longest time.
2 real good stops by Corey Crawford. I like the second one. He wanted to kick that as far away as he could to the side so the Blackhawks could get to it and clear it. They did.
Oduya needs help from Hjalmarsson. Hoodler took it away. Erie Hoodler dropped it back. Here's a long blast, blocked by Oduya out in front, and he captures the loose puck. The first time these teams met was in the United Center, and the Flames won the game in overtime. Chris Russell got the goal that night to win it. Here's Versteeg looking to answer to Kane. He mishandled it. And now the Flames have it back.
Patrick Kane trying to tee that up, and the ice obviously getting bad. We're in overtime. Just jumped on him right at the last second. He overskates it.
Here's Russell, who got the GWG in Chicago. Russell. Pass missed Monahan. And back comes Hossa to Sharp. Patrick Sharp gains the Calgary line, pulls up, and was stripped of it. Good play, Giordano. Monahan works back into the Blackhawk zone. Put it out in front. Here's Monahan right to the goal. He shoots, and a save by Crawford. Rebound in behind the wraparound. They score. Calgary wins. I believe it was T.J. Brody that got the loose puck in behind the net. Calgary has beaten the Hawks for the second time in overtime. It's 5-4 tonight. And in that scrum is the Lexus Pursuing Perfection player of the game, T.J. Brody.
Kind of a luck.
Becomes the second Calgary defenseman to get a game-winning goal in overtime against the Hawks.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if this would have went in. He was trying to wrap around Brody up on the play. Monahan takes it to the net. Watch Brody, and watch the stick of number 8. Nick Leddy tries to prevent it from going in, actually wedges it. Well, helps wedge it inside his own net. Another overtime win for Calgary.
So there's the final. The Blackhawks now have taken 2 points out of the last 8 possible.